What is up, everybody? My name is David Janzar. This is John Carter. We are O2 Productions Co. And
Um,
we are independent filmmakers. If you haven't seen it already, we dropped the pitch at the end of last year. We'd really appreciate it if you checked it out. It's our first ever feature film, and we're hoping to do a lot more. And that brings us to today, where we're trying to think of ideas and bring new things to the table for us to record, to get us to talk about movies and to, celebrate movies and whatever, and to just have fun doing it and hopefully have something for more people to watch and find us and, give us people to connect with about movies and everything like that. So we have a new idea for a new show here, John. What do we
yeah,
what do we got
yeah,
today? Do you want to kind of start us off explaining this?
sure. So what we have going on for you guys today, this is going obviously if you haven't already noticed, we are virtual.
I should have
Um
mentioned that already,
yeah,
but yeah.
if you can't tell. But yeah, so what's going on today and actually we're planning on doing weekly is kind of like a debate on anything movie related, whether or not it's an actual movie, an actor, anything related to movies is up for debate. And so, how this is going to work is to start off, we're going to have a 45-second timer in which we say, by the way, we're calling this one take. Um,
We'd like to make it
yeah,
like a sort of like show sort of thing, like,
right.
and I'd just like to add on that like because we had already done some movie reviews, but it's like so many people do movie reviews on
Mm,
YouTube. It's like how are we really going to stand out with that? And like we want to do something that's at least a little bit different and a little bit fresh that we can also do like virtually like this, and it actually kind of even works better for the format because it's like we're each in our own like little panels. So
mm,
this is very much going to be like a lot of like sports talk shows where like, we're just going to go back and forth and we're going to debate
yeah.
about some sort of topic, whatever our one take is. So that's why we're thinking
Mhm,
one take's a cool name for it. Um, and hopefully it's something we could do on possibly a weekly or bi-weekly basis. I don't know. We're gonna figure out
yeah.
if we get enough ideas, we're gonna try to do it like fairly regularly and release it
Mhm.
like often. So gives us more stuff to talk about. There's something else I was gonna add. Now I can't think of it. Um,
Are we gonna tell them about our other possible idea of which we're planning on doing?
no, not yet, but that's a good
Not yet.
tease. That's a good tease for it, just to say, yeah,
Yeah, I'm teasing y'all early.
there's
Yeah.
something else really fun that we're really into another idea of something we could kind of put up on the channel and will be good filmmaking practice for us as well. So look
Yes.
forward to that possibly coming soon. Depends on when this comes out. But we're recording this in mid to late February at this point. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, this should be fun. Again, this is a work in progress, so this is the first ever one
Yes.
take, hopefully of
Episode
many
1.
more. And so it's not going to be perfectly formatted or organized. And this is also our first time doing a video like this using Google Meets, so we'll see how
Mhm.
that goes. But we just thought it'd be easier um, instead of meeting up every single time for us to do one of these. We just
Right.
talk it out like this so that even if we're like miles and miles apart for some reason, we could still make a video like this basically wherever we
Yeah.
are. So that's pretty cool too, I think. So, are we good to go here? Did we miss anything that we wanted to mention?
Um, well, I was saying before about the 45-second
Oh yeah,
timer.
sorry, yeah. Explain
Yeah.
that, please.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're good. So the 45-second timer, which is pretty of importance, is so we're gonna have at most 45 seconds to give our one take, and either the core idea of why we have this take or multiple explanations as to why. It just has to be within the frame of 45 seconds. And so after we each have our 45 seconds to say our part or idea, we then get into the debate and go back and forth on each topic we want to bring up, and hopefully we get a good, conversation going, maybe some clarity or even agreement. You never know.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. All right. So it should be pretty fun. So everything you said, right on the money. 45 seconds to give your one take, and then I'll get 45 seconds. Well, bit of a spoiler there, but John's the one bringing the first take here. The
Yeah.
first ever take that we're gonna have on one take. Sometimes it
Hmm.
might be me who's like proposing something, or it might be somebody completely different who we've worked with, or who we know, or a friend, or whatever. It can be anybody,
Hmm.
and it's just a fun little discussion. Um, might get a little heated at times. We'll see. I doubt it.
Yeah.
I really
So,
doubt it, but it could be fun. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments about whatever our topic is. We'd like to keep this sort of relevant with most of these takes. So like based on movies that are coming out or are out or something like that. We're gonna try to
mhm,
mostly do that. Sometimes maybe we'll just bring something out of left field. But in the case that we're talking about a specific movie or like a couple movies, we're gonna also include a very short review in that 45 seconds. Like the 45 seconds will then be like
yeah.
review as quick as possible and just give your take, whatever that take is, so that then we still have like the review aspect of this if we are talking about a specific movie, but it doesn't have to be, you know. So these videos could be any amount of time. It kind of just depends on how the conversation goes. And so let's
Yeah.
jump into it since now we've got everything set up. So would you like to begin, sir, once I get this timer up? Let's see how quickly I can
Yes, I
figure this
would.
out. Okay. 45 seconds are ready to go. As soon as you start talking, I will start the timer.
Okay. So the very first one take for this show is my one take is I believe that 2026 is going to be a worse year for movies than 2025. And I think so just because of, quality wise, like I think there's not as much variety as far as genre wise. I feel like there's a lot of unoriginal or just recycled stories. Um, and I would also like to compare and contrast the so-called blockbuster films um, from last year and this year. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
And you fit like just about right in that 45 seconds. That
I
was
was
perfect.
watching it. I was stressing it out, man. Yeah,
That's the fun of it, hopefully.
yeah.
So let me put up a quick 45. I'm definitely not going to use up all of it. Um,
I wasn't planning to, but it happened.
Yeah, it actually worked out that you were pretty close. That was a really good pitch. That was a perfect first one take right there. So
Thank
my
you.
my rebuttal to that, I will now start the
Mm,
timer, is that 2026 will certainly be a better year for movies. We both agree that 2025 was not the best year, and there's a lot of
mm,
heavy hitters coming in 2026. There's already been a couple movies that have been quite interesting and unique to kind of rebut your fact of less original ideas. And I'm excited to talk about all of the exciting new releases that are coming up this year. So that's all
sure.
I got. I will pause this timer and I will get rid of it. And now the floor is completely open. No more timers, no more,
Yeah.
now it's just a regular back and forth. So, um, would you like to start with like your first point here, or where would
Um,
you like to start with this?
I mean, I think the easiest avenue to start off with would be to talk about like the big blockbuster and or just popular films in general.
I agree.
So I was doing research, and a majority of this came from IMDb. So if I'm wrong with anything, it's on them. Yeah. So like if I so let's just go back in time to 2025. If I was to say like the blockbuster films, probably like you had Jurassic World,
Hmm.
Mission Impossible, Minecraft movies, Sinners, of course, Superman, Zootopia, Wicked for Good, Fantastic Four, Avatar, F1 movie, Final Destination, One Battle After Another. I would put in K-pop Demon Hunters in there also. Marty Supreme maybe, and I was looking at 2026, but what I would think are the blockbuster movies. Whether or not they call themselves that yet is the question.
Would you, so would you want to start like maybe looking at a specific genre or something like more specific
Yeah.
maybe to start?
Well, okay. So if I was to go about like the genre wise, again, I was looking at 2025 compared to this year. Um, and I was like, okay, there's just not a lot of variety out there. A majority of everything that's either currently out or coming out is either in the lines of like thriller, drama, or horror. Not that I have a problem with that, but it's
Okay.
kind of like it's like, okay, I want to see something more than just this because I feel like when you see one, it's kind of like seeing it again. Like how different can you make each story if it's like almost the same genre? And a lot of the stories that I was reading each description of the movies coming out, and I was like, like feels like a recycled story. Like I've seen this before, but they're doing it again, probably trying to put a different spin onto it. And actually, I counted up. I was on IMDb, and I got up to like I don't know 250 plus movies I was looking through.
Wow.
And of like 250 plus movies, I actively and know for sure. I didn't count the ones where I was like, yeah, I may or may not see that. I was like, these are ones that I definitely want to see. There was only 18.
Wow. Out of for
Yeah,
2026?
yeah, there was only 18 movies that I like firmly wanted to see, and I got up to like 250 movies, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of tired of looking for more because like I'm only at 18 now. Because like everything else that I saw was like either a bland or recycled story. It was like the same genre. Like I just want more to choose from.
And if you can remember, would you say that it was a larger number going into 2025? That you had like more than
Yeah.
20 or
Oh yeah.
so?
I would definitely say so. I mean, I think I saw more than 20 if I remember correctly. But yeah, if I was to looking back at 2025, there was so many different kinds of movies that I thought you could choose from as far as genre wise. Sure, there was obviously repeat recycled stories. Um, but I feel like 2025 had more original and creative stories compared to what we're getting in 2026.
Okay. Um, so what genre or genres do you think are not being represented well in 2026 that you would say is taking away from the variety?
Uh, from what I saw, I think for the most part, comedy and action. I saw again a lot of drama, actually even a lot of romance movies coming this year. Thriller, um, and whatever else I said, horror.
Hmm. Well, if you're looking at comedies, I did I I don't know how much I want to defend these ones specifically. This was actually kind of lower on my list of arguments here, but if we're gonna go
Mm,
comedies, there is some potential to be had, I would say. You've got Jumanji 3. You've
I have
got
no interest in that.
you're completing a
Um,
trilogy of classic films here. I mean, Dwayne The
See, but
Rock
like,
Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack
sure,
Black.
yeah,
Um, oh no, I'm gonna forget her name. Oh no.
Karen Gillan,
Yes, thank you.
yeah,
Just an all-time cast and all-time movies, some people might say. I wouldn't say. I
mm,
certainly wouldn't say. They're I
right,
find the movies to be quite okay at best. But,
mm,
they can be pretty funny. They're a good time, they're crowd pleasers. Like that's a fun
mm.
movie. Um, did you hear that there's a new Meet the Fockers movie coming out this year?
Yeah,
Focker
I
in
was like,
Law.
yeah, I was like, why?
Look, man, who doesn't love Robert De Niro, man? He's
I mean, of
an
course,
incredible talent. He's a funny guy when he wants to be. He's a
sure,
serious guy when he wants to be. He's
hmm,
incredible. Ben Stiller, who doesn't love Ben
yeah,
Stiller? He's been doing great work with Severance, directing that
mm,
recently.
yeah,
But we all know he's a great actor, especially in the comedy space. So there's a lot of potential there. What I would say there was decent comedy last year. Naked Gun and
mm,
I know Anaconda you were surprised by and thought that was
yeah,
decent, but I don't know if last year was that great of a year for comedies either. I think comedies have been in a bit of a weak point, and
mm.
I think there's at least as much potential this coming year as there was last year. So,
I mean, I
also
could,
one more thing
yeah.
before I let you jump in. Violent Night
Mm.
2. I haven't seen Violent Night, the original, but I
Mhm,
heard it's pretty good. It's like an action sort of comedy holiday movie, so that also hits you
mm.
on the holiday side of things. What did we have for holiday movies last year? Exactly.
Yeah,
So there you go.
okay,
We're getting a bit of a leg up now in 2026 with a Christmas movie. Now it's a Christmas action movie.
sure,
How much is it really a Christmas movie? I don't know. I haven't even seen the first one, but
right,
it's there. It's there.
okay, alright, I see your points, if I'm gonna work off of those points, Jumanji 3 is more of just like a why? Why even make it? 'Cau I don't okay, so I'm not always the biggest fan of reboots. I did like the first Jumanji reboot, and I don't really remember the second one too much. I think Nick Jonas was randomly in it, if I
Yes,
remember correctly.
he was.
Um, yeah, I don't even know what Jumanji 3 could even be about. It feels more like one of those movies where it was like, what's that movie? I think it's called Red Notice or something, or Don't Look Up.
Hmm.
Those movies were just eh, but they got such a star-studded cast that it look like it was going to be a good movie because everybody's in it,
Hmm.
which is exactly what I think Jumanji 3 is going to be. I think it's going to be mediocre, if not a bad movie, but because everybody loves Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart and Jack Black and Karen Gillan, they're going to go see it.
Hey,
Um,
it's getting butts in seats. That's a big thing. That's always a good
yeah, I
thing,
mean,
right?
sure. Yeah. Um,
But
the
on
new,
honestly, like I said, those were like the last movies I was planning on mentioning for this. Those were at the bottom
sure.
of my list. So like I would gladly like to transition into something else if you're done
It's
making
fine.
your point. I mean, you can still finish your point.
Um, well, I mean, just to simplify those, I know you want to step away from those, but the ones that you gave me, it I just question why. Why even make those? I get the idea of wanting to well, I don't entirely get the idea of wanting to continue it when there isn't a huge need for it. Why not come up with something original rather than trying to stretch out what's already been done or hasn't been touched and what has been done and hasn't been touched in 20 years, you know?
Okay. Well, you could make that same case for Naked Gun and Anaconda. Those were
Sure.
also bringing back something very old and trying to do it again, trying to do it as good,
Mm,
if not better. So it's the same thing. Maybe it'll work again in 2026. Maybe it'll work better in 2026. I don't know.
sure.
I
Of
don't
course,
know.
you can obviously make the argument that yes, they were um, redone, but obviously, I can't really say for certain right now. But if just by hearing the description of the movie, what it's going to be about, if you were to compare those two movies from 2025 to the ones that you mentioned coming out now, I feel like 2025, those movies are just gonna are and gonna be better as far
Okay.
as comedy wise.
All right. Fair enough. I mean, you got to give me some credit at least for trying to defend these sequels. I mean, come on.
Of course I do. Yeah.
I'm trying my best with these sequels, man. I don't know.
I
But
mean, I'm not. Yeah.
what? Go ahead.
Sequels. Well, I mean, I know you sort of agree with me that sequels aren't always the best thing to happen. Sometimes it is necessary. Not a lot. Well, these aren't even really sequels. These are like fourthels. Like just
Yeah,
too many.
yeah. I won't fully argue with you there. But let's go back to the big movies here because I think there is quite a
Sure.
slate coming up in 2026, and I think that's
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
a major crux of my argument here. So I'd like to get
Mm,
into that.
of
Um,
course.
and I understand we have the benefit of hindsight of like seeing the movies that we enjoyed, like a K-pop Demon Hunters or a
Mm,
Sinners. Granted, Sinners was one that like going into it, a lot of people expected it to be good, which so
mm.
that one's maybe not the best example, but like you used examples like K-pop Demon Hunters or did you say Weapons? No, you didn't say Weapons.
No.
I'm trying to think.
Do, do, do. I mean, the Minecraft movie, Mission Impossible, Jurassic World.
Jurassic
Uh,
World, that wasn't as I haven't
well,
seen it, but
yeah,
I've heard it's not anything
I
special.
haven't seen it either. I don't really, honestly, really want to talk about that. I just kind of put that on there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the F1 movie, I know you have feelings about that,
Mhm.
but one battle after another, I have feelings about that, but I still included it. You know, it, I mean, did you want to like look off of that? Like, what were you saying?
Well, so I would say there's a much better variety in the big movies that are coming out, and I'd also say I think there's a good amount of originality here too. There's also there is plenty of sequels and stuff, but like something like Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling,
Sure, I
directed
think
by
that
Lord and
looks
Miller.
okay at best.
You could say what you want about the trailers, but I mean, this is a really good actor with
Sure.
writer directors who are very experienced. They
Hmm.
are the people behind the Lego movie, the Jump Street movies, and the
Hmm.
Spider-Verse. They're the writers for the Spider-Verse movies, which are really good.
Sure.
Um, or excuse me, they didn't write the movie. They they wrote the Spider-Verse movies, but they're only directing this movie. But the movie is written
Mm,
by the same guy who wrote The Martian, which if
right.
you've heard of that one, that's also a sci-fi movie with a really
Yeah.
good starring actor, with a really
Hmm.
talented director, and
Right.
it's based off the book Project Hail Mary, which
Mm,
was also
right.
written by the same author. So
Hmm.
everything to me is kind of adding up to that being a pretty exciting sci-fi release. Which what did we really have for sci-fi last year?
As far as sci-fi, um, not really a lot. Is I mean, Until Dawn, if that really counts as sci-fi, I don't know if I'd really count it as sci-fi. Um, yeah, honestly, I kind of forgot about the whole sci-fi genre, to be honest. But
Well, there's a lot to talk about with the sci-fi genre because I can keep going here. We've got
please, yeah.
Disclosure Day. I mean, talk about a big
Mm.
movie. We're talking about one of the greatest of all time here, Steven
That's the one with
Spielberg,
Emily Blunt, right?
starring Emily Blunt, who's
Yeah,
extremely talented, obviously. I don't even need to say that because we all know that. She's incredible. And
right.
Steven Spielberg, do we know who that
Hmm.
is? Doing a
I think so.
sci-fi
Yeah.
movie about AI,
Hmm.
like very relevant. Spielberg has always been fantastic. Obviously, we've seen that he's capable with working with very relevant topics and things like that. I mean, he's an incredible director. I mean, what more has to
Right.
be said? And
Hmm.
I would also look at like there's several directors this year who are releasing new movies that we had some big names last year as well in 2025. We had Paul Thomas Anderson. Again, we
Mm.
know what you said about that. We had
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler. We had Joseph Kaczynski. We had Zach Kreger, who is also releasing a movie this year. I'll get to that in a second.
Mm.
Um, should be releasing a movie. It might get moved back. I don't know. I don't know what the news is on that. But um, I am probably missing a couple names for directors, but this year you've got Steven Spielberg with
Mm.
Disclosure Day, as I already said. Lord and Miller, as I already said, who did the Lego movie,
Mm.
and the Jump Street movies, doing Project Hail Mary. You have Denis Villeneuve doing Dune Part 3, another sci-fi movie. Yes, it's another sequel, but it's in a franchise that has gotten a lot of trust from fans. In the
Sure.
first Dune and the second Dune have both been extremely well received both by fans and by critics and by the Academy with awards and things like that. You also
Mm.
have um, Digger, which I'm super excited
Mm.
for, which we could maybe dive a bit deeper into. Directed by Alejandro Iñárritu, who did
Right.
Birdman and The Revenant. I've only
Mm.
seen The Revenant, if I'm being honest, but I do like The Revenant.
Mm.
And
I was
he's
not the biggest fan of the Revenant.
but he's a really interesting voice. Another big name that's releasing a movie in 2026, and he's
Mm.
working with Tom Cruise, who
Yeah.
I had to write down. Tom Cruise has not starred. excuse me, never mind starred. Tom Cruise has
Hmm.
not acted in a feature film that is not a Mission Impossible film since
Yeah,
2017.
yeah,
He has been
I've seen
Ethan
that.
Hunt
Yeah.
almost exclusively. I think there's like one short like film like
Hmm.
on his credit. Other than that, he's been only Ethan Hunt since 2017, and we're finally getting him in a movie in a different role, doing something
Sure.
that seems like it might be a bit more dramatic, but also comedic. I'm also hearing that
Hmm.
it's like kind of a genre blender from what I'm hearing. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm super excited to see Tom Cruise outside of Mission Impossible. Yes, he's great in Mission Impossible. It's fun to watch him do all these crazy death-defying stunts, but I also enjoy like just staying boots on the ground, literally staying,
Yeah.
remaining on the earth, Tom Cruise, and just acting purely in a
Hmm.
dramatic sense beyond just the spectacle side of things. So I'm super excited about that one. Um, we also have The Social Reckoning, which is a sequel to The Social Network. Don't know
Hmm.
how to feel about them making a sequel to that movie, but it's getting directed by Aaron Sorkin, who wrote The Social Network. He's an extremely
Sure.
talented writer. I like him as a director. He is, I mean, such an incredible writer. It's hard for him to live up to that as a director, but I really like that as well. And one more big one before I stop talking so much. Sorry, two more big ones really quick before I stop
Sure.
talking. Um, because there's just so many movies to talk about in 2026. Like,
Mm.
there's no way 2026 can fail. Okay, I'm speaking in
Yeah.
hyperbole here, but
Yeah.
Zach Kreger, who made Weapons last year, which was quite well received. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Hmm.
He's also making a Resident Evil movie that should be coming out, I
Yeah.
believe, later this year. So even if
Hmm.
you want to say, okay, well, we're missing out on maybe the horror side of things, well, he's making another one this very year. And yes, it's something
Mm.
licensed, but it's somebody who has a very clear creative vision, and it sounds like he's bringing his own spin to it. And his own spin so far, Barbarian and Weapons, has been really interesting stuff. So I'm excited for
Hmm.
that. And then last but definitely not least, because this is going to be a massive hit, it's going to make at least $2 billion, is the Michael Jackson movie, or well, it's just
Mm.
Michael.
Yep.
Directed by Antoine Fuqua, starring Jafar Jackson, his nephew, who looks pretty good in the trailers. If you ask me, the trailers look really good for
Hmm.
that movie. There's going to be people pouring into the theaters for it. Does that mean it's going to be good? Not necessarily, but this is also the guy who
Hmm.
directed Training Day, and what's the other one? Olympus Has Fallen. He did, and
Mm.
I believe the first three Equalizer films. He's made several movies. He's very well established. He knows what he's doing as a director. So that's another one.
Sure.
And I'll let you take the floor from here because I was just rambling for a long ass time. But that's the rundown of like if we're talking like big name directors and like big movies that are coming out. There's a few more that I
Sure.
haven't even listed yet. Let me just say, but I was
Mm.
focusing more so on the directors for that one.
Right. Um. Okay. So I mean, obviously, hmm, where do I want to go with this? So direct, even though you have arguably one of the greatest directors, if not the greatest director, Steven Spielberg, and all these other well-known great directors, I don't want to sound pessimistic, but it doesn't necessarily equal that the movie is going to be good. Sure, I think they have promise, a majority of them. Half of them aren't even necessarily original ideas. It's more of just what the director does to tell the story in a way. So again, I can bring up the unoriginality, but I can admire the uh, want of creativity putting into it. As far as like blockbusters that I was looking through and would think would become blockbusters, well, I mean, Send Help. I know you haven't seen that yet. I have
I didn't even
words.
mention that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sam Raimi already released a
yeah,
movie this year, which yeah, I haven't seen.
yeah.
That's correct. But
I have feelings about it that I'll refrain from since you haven't seen it, and I know you want really want to see it.
yeah, I'll be seeing it.
Scream 7 again. Why? Um,
Oh my goodness,
Avengers.
I missed a massive movie and I'm an idiot.
I mean,
Sorry,
Avengers
continue.
Doomsday. Doomsday. That's coming out this year, I believe.
Yep.
Um, I mean, I'm going to see it just because it's Avengers. I really don't expect it to be um, anything compared to like Infinity War Endgame. Mandalorian Grogu, why? They already have a show. Why making a movie? I mean, sure.
But
Toy Story
we are
5,
getting before you keep going, we are getting
yeah.
Star Wars though. Like
I mean, yeah, but
for
like,
those fans, like if we're thinking like I'm trying not to just think about things I like, but also like well, people who are fans of Star Wars, maybe they've been missing it, and like they're
well,
getting
yeah,
another
of
chance
course.
to see Star Wars on the big screen. I mean, it's been a while since we've had it, right? What was the last Star Wars movie we've had? Was it Rise of Skywalker?
I think it was either that. I forget which came out first, that or Solo.
Yeah, it might have
But
been Solo. But it's
yeah,
been a while. I would imagine like some people would want to go to well, some people, a lot of people are going to want to see that movie. So,
well, I mean, yeah, of course. But like, I mean, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I don't know if you heard the news, but I believe Kathleen Kennedy stepped down. So
oh
obviously,
really?
uh,
I didn't see that.
yeah, Dave Filoni is now the new, I believe, president or like CEO or whatever.
Hmm.
Which is exciting because he's a Star Wars genius. I'm not the biggest fan of the Mandalorian TV show in general, which is why I'm probably trashing on the why make a movie. Of course, Star Wars fans want to see it, but you have to. There's so many stories that you could do as opposed to one that's already existing in the form of a TV show.
Hmm.
Um, I just think they should explore different outlets as
Good
opposed to
point.
just putting out a movie for a TV show. Um, Toy Story 5, we both just saw the trailer for it. The premise of the story I really like. Whether or not it's actually going to be a good movie is up for question, of course. Uh, Supergirl, they made Superman last year. They were probably just like, okay, let's make Supergirl now. And
Well,
honestly, I think it looks like really cheesy.
I
Um,
haven't seen it yet, but I mean, looking back, Superman wasn't. I mean, this is just my take, but Superman was
mm,
not the greatest movie. I mean, Superman was a disappointment for me, a slight disappointment for me.
yeah,
It was a decent movie, but like, there's certainly room to improve, though, in my opinion. So like,
right. Well, room to what do you mean by room to improve
because
when
Superman
talking
just
about
wasn't as good.
so if Superman wasn't as good, why would they think that Supergirl would be any better?
That's another shot.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's all I can argue. I'm not gonna argue much more than that because I haven't seen anything on Supergirl or anything. I don't know the actress or
Yeah.
like what the
Oh, I
plot's
know.
gonna be.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
anything about it to be honest. So I can't defend it too much. But I'm just saying, like,
sure.
if we're comparing 2026 to 2025, yeah, Superman versus Supergirl is a perfect comparison. Well,
Mm,
Superman wasn't that great. Like,
yeah.
it was decent, but clearly there's potential. There's potential. That's all I'm gonna say. Is there's
Hmm.
potential. There's and like a pretty good amount of potential. It's not like Superman was like pretty good and it's like okay, they're probably not gonna be able to hold up. It's like no, Superman. There was a lot of room for that movie to be better, and they kind of missed the mark a little bit, if you ask me. So
Right.
I think Supergirl, it's got a chance. It's got a chance, and I'd like to actually kind of continue down the path of the superhero stuff if you're okay with that since that's such a
That's
big
fine.
topic with
Yeah.
a lot of movie fans.
Yeah.
So we have Superman.
Yes.
Or sorry, excuse me, we have Supergirl.
Yeah.
Um, we also have Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Let's not
I was
just
getting
brush
to
over
that one.
that.
Yes. Yeah.
Along with Avengers: Doomsday, we have two of the biggest. I mean,
Hmm.
Avengers is like the overall franchise, but still, we have like two of the biggest IPs within, but not just like big being big names, but also like highest quality like
Sure.
names in the entire
Hmm.
MCU are
Right.
Spider-Man and the Avengers
And
movies. I
Avengers.
mean,
Yeah.
who else would you put up there? Not many. Guardians of the Galaxy probably, but still, those are two of
Hmm.
like the top. I'll just say five, and I think that's like being safe. They are like two of the
Hmm.
top five names in terms of movie quality. Never mind the fact that they're extremely popular, so they're gonna make a ton of money. Obviously, we're not
Hmm.
talking money here. We're talking about quality of movies, but still, it's gonna be movies that people want to go see. The big thing about the
Sure.
Spider-Man movie too is that they took their time with it. They did No Way Home, which was like, bringing people back from the past versions of Spider-Man and everything, and that was really cool. It's a fun
Hmm.
movie, and instead of riding the high of all the money they made off that instead of being like, okay, let's go make more money, release another one in like 2 years. They took their
Mm,
time to actually find a story that they liked, and they're taking their time to bring the character back in the right way. So I'm really excited
right.
for that, and I think there's a lot of potential with this new Spider-Man movie. So
Sure. If I can counter to that, which do I want to bring up first? So, okay, I'll do this first. So, again, just because the name is there doesn't mean the quality is going to be there. Do I think it'll be a bad movie? No, I don't think it'll be a bad movie. Um, because it's kind of like trying to think. Because I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Tom Holland's Spider Man. I think he has fun movies, but whether or not they're good movies is eh. But Avengers is another one of those like star-studded cast. They have a bunch of new characters of which I haven't really paid attention to. The whole multiverse thing, I'm kind of tired of. We gotta get off that. Um, what else was I gonna bring up?
I mean, the
Oh, taking
multiverse, they were
yeah,
dealing with the multiverse last year too, though. I mean, that's something that's just carrying over from
yeah. They
last
just
year. So
keep
like,
doing that
it's
though.
not like it's going to be worse than it was last year because it's all the same. I mean, last year we had Thunderbolts, which apparently was quite good. I haven't seen it. Fantastic
Mm,
Four, which I thought was decent. But
sure.
again, I think Spider-Man has a much better chance to be better. And then having that a big Avengers movie to bring people back to
Mm,
the theaters, well, at least bring the Marvel fans back to the theaters.
mm.
Um, I think there's a lot of potential here for the MCU to make a recovery here. Oh, and don't
The
forget,
potential,
actually,
yeah.
I almost missed the biggest punching bag from last year, Captain America: Brave New World. I
Oh
heard
yeah,
that one's an absolute stinker. I haven't seen it because I don't want to
a
watch it.
stinker. Yeah, I don't want to watch it either.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't fully plan on watching the new Avengers movie, but that's just me. You know, I'm not a big
Mm,
superhero guy, but I know loads of
yeah.
people enjoy them. And the event, like I said, the Avengers name. I mean, none of the Avengers movies, in my opinion, are bad movies.
Hmm.
So that's a good sign if you ask me.
I mean, again, the name doesn't make it a quality movie, but to bring up your point of taking their time, you know, do even though something takes a long time to make, doesn't always make it a good thing. If I can, the most recent thing that I can think of, yeah, the most recent thing that I can think of is, I mean, Stranger Things.
Oh
I have
no.
feelings about Stranger.
Oh no.
I know you haven't
Good
seen Stranger
example.
Things, so I'll try to refrain from spoiling too much. But um, you know, the time frame from when the fourth season came out to the fifth season was exponential. So people are like, okay, cool, we're gonna get an awesome uh ending conclusion to the franchise and all that stuff. And trying to think of a way to say this without giving away too much. Let's just say that even though something may take a long time to make, doesn't always make it a good thing.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Even though people want to think that it's not always the case, of course it does happen, but I just can't always bet on something to be good because of the time frame it takes to make it.
Hmm. Okay. One more thing I'll throw into the superhero mix, which I'll call it a small thing, but for me personally, it's actually like the biggest one of them all for me,
Sure.
is the Clayface movie, which I'm really looking
That
forward to.
okay, yeah. I'm
Going
looking
back
forward to
into
that. Yeah.
the Batman Arkham universe, we haven't been there
Mm,
since the Batman in 2022, I believe.
right.
Well, there was also the Penguin show, but I'm talking movies here for the most part.
Yeah.
Although the Stranger Things example was good, so that I have no issue with that. But
Mm,
we're going back to the Batman universe. It's Clayface. It's one of my personal favorite villains, who I think
hmm.
has a lot of potential. Um, I believe written by Mike Flanagan, who made Doctor Sleep and has written several really good horror films.
Mm,
Um, written and produced. He's also produced several. I'm not sure exactly how many he's written, but um, I'm pretty sure they're taking like a sort of body horror, but also, I mean, it's going to be a comic book movie, so
hmm.
it's going to be possibly a really cool blend, in the Batman world. So you also got the DC side of things. You got Batman, so I think
Right.
that'll be really cool too.
Well, yeah. And I actually, all right. So in general, I really don't like DC, but one thing I will give them credit on is the fact that Clayface has been non-existent in TV movie world in DC. So I give them credit on actually giving him, I mean, his own standalone movie, um, which I think takes guts and I respect it, as opposed to uh, not that I'm dissing Marvel, but Marvel is putting out, even though this was planned, they're putting out Avengers, Spider Man, of course, big names just to bring people in. Um, and again, of course, there's a lot of multiple other characters that haven't even been touched upon that I'd like to see, but Marvel just keeps recycling these big name characters. And of course, they're fun to see, but let's see other people. I want more original stories, original stories that uh, uh, are just new and fresh, as opposed to like Avengers 27 and Spider-Man 42. You know,
Okay.
so
I understand that. I mean, I will just say that it has been a while since we've had both Spider-Man and Avengers, so I do think that it's fine
true.
to bring them back now. But I totally understand your point. I agree actually with that. So I
Hmm.
guess there's common ground there of let's try to get some more new heroes who are
Mm,
properly given their due on the big screen if possible.
right.
Um, from there, I'm good to actually move on. And I should really have brought this up with my big name directors because I completely skipped over
Mm,
probably the biggest one of the year for me. One of my favorites, Christopher Nolan,
yes.
is
Yeah.
making another movie. We
The
haven't seen one
Odyssey.
of his since Oppenheimer,
Hmm.
and it is easily by far my most anticipated movie of the year, The Odyssey. I mean, we've already
That's
started
fair.
seeing trailers. I think they look good. I wouldn't say
Hmm.
they look great, I'll be honest,
Hmm.
but I think they
Yep.
look good. And look, it's Christopher Nolan. The guy
Sure.
has not missed. Period.
Yeah.
He has not missed.
Yeah. Okay.
He not only has he not missed though, I could say there's a few directors who have not missed but have also just made decent movies. He's not
Hmm.
missed and he's also made some of the greatest movies of all time. So
Hmm.
let's not play around here. So we're getting again Spielberg, Fuqua,
Hmm.
Iñárritu, all those other names. I'm not gonna run through all of them all over again. And Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan. Are you serious? Like 2025 can't measure up, man. Can't measure up. And I know what you said about
Eh,
directors. Okay, maybe they have the name, maybe they have the history. That doesn't
sure.
guarantee that they're going to make a good film. Well, I'm telling you that the history is a good sign of the future. Is that a phrase? I don't know, but it is
It
now.
is now.
It
It
is
is
now.
now.
So
And I respect it.
their filmographies, we know that they are people that we can trust with making
Hmm.
movies. Not, you know, not some brand new names. And not that there's anything wrong with brand new names. Like, but obviously
Hmm.
brand new names come with, an uncertainty. Here we don't have certainty, but we have much more of it considering we have so many big names who have been making good movies already, who are releasing
Hmm.
new movies in 2026, who we saw none of in 2025.
Sure. Um. Yeah. To just kind of go off the Odyssey. I mean, it might just be the fact that I'm not into Greek mythology, and I respect Christopher Nolan as a director, of course. Um. And honestly, I was, well, some of you don't know, a lot of you don't know this, but I wasn't the biggest fan of Oppenheimer. I think it was fine, but it wasn't like what everybody was saying, like, oh my god, that was the best movie ever. The Odyssey, I have very, I wouldn't say low expectations, but I think it's another one of those movies because like every big name actor has been cast in the Odyssey. It's extremely big budget. Um, I think it's gonna be pretty much like Avatar. It's gonna be visually appealing, but the movie story itself is just gonna be eh.
Really?
And yeah, and all these big name actors are just to drive in people.
Well, the thing is, it's an adaptation of the Odyssey, which is like one of the oldest told tales, which is one of the foundations of like every story ever.
Oh,
Like the
sure.
Odyssey
Yeah.
started all that. So like I don't see how exactly it could be a weak story when it's something that's been so long praised and also built
Hmm.
off of and kind of been inspiration for so many other things. So
Right.
I think because I can agree maybe even with yeah with Nolan especially like yeah maybe he's got some films where it's like he might have a concept or the visuals down more so than a story.
Hmm.
Maybe with a couple of his films. I think most of his films have really good stories. But
Sure.
in this case, it's not even just his original idea. He's building off of something that's already a proven piece of literature. So I think
Well,
the
sure.
story's in good hands already because well, it's been in millions of hands, if not billions, you know? It's been going around for
Yeah.
years and years and millennia.
Right. Well, I mean, you can make the same argument for Oppenheimer. I mean, Oppenheimer is, obviously a true story. I wasn't the biggest fan of, well, I wouldn't say biggest fan, but I just thought the way he told the story was just honestly a little bit boring. It kind of dragged out at parts, um, which I feel like might happen with the Odyssey. Again, I have to bring up the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of Greek mythology, which might be toying with my thoughts on it. Will I see it? Maybe, but that's one that's not on my for sure I want to see list. It's one of those if I see it, I see it. If I don't, oh well. But I'm sure I will.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
but yeah,
I don't know if I agree with the whole comparing it to Oppenheimer, to be honest. If anything, I'd compare it probably to something like Inception for like the action and kind of the more fantastic elements, as well as like the Dark Knight, maybe to an extent. Again, mostly just for the action type of stuff. And we know Christopher Nolan can do action. He's done it many times, and he does it really
sure.
well. He's working in IMAX again. He loves working in IMAX. He's really good at it.
Mm,
He's one of the like main like leaders in advancing IMAX. He's the one who helped Ryan Coogler, might have heard of
hmm.
that name, doing Sinners, which released
Yeah.
last year. So he's the guy who taught the guy who did the thing well last year.
Hmm.
So that means this year we're going to get something even better, right? That's exactly how that works every time. No, you don't need to respond to that. That's how it works every time.
Okay. Okay. We can run with that. But I was comparing it to Oppenheimer because, as you were saying, it's an existing story of which was told, well, directed by Christopher Nolan, his perspective, how he wanted it to be told.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that how he told Oppenheimer was not poorly done, but it wasn't as great as people say it. And I think we could see a repeat of that in the Odyssey. Um, because Oppenheimer, I think, was visually appealing. It was well shot. I think pretty much every movie he's done is well shot and visually appealing. And I don't expect the Odyssey to not uphold his standards. I just have some doubts about the movie itself as opposed to the visual appeal.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. I think that's all my points on the Odyssey there.
Yeah.
Let me see if I have anything else that I really want to touch on. Oh, I'd like to. This will probably be my last major point. Um,
Mm,
I'd like to bring forward the slasher, the horror genre in general, but also going a bit more into the slashers, because I think that was a genre that was pretty strong in 2025, but it's looking really good for
mhm.
2026. So I just want to throw out some names here. We have Scream 7 that's coming out in literally a week from when we're recording this. When's the last time we saw one of the big slasher um, villain movies franchises? Sorry.
Like the big name
Yeah, the big
slasher
names. It would be
people.
Halloween Ends, right? I would think,
And that was
or Scream 6.
2023, if
Yeah,
I remember
it was a
correctly.
few years ago now. So
Yeah.
the people who are the fans of the Scream franchise, you're finally getting it back. People who are fans of
Mm.
slashers, you're getting something. I mean, you haven't seen something for years now. I mean,
Well,
there
sure.
like I
Yeah.
said, there were good horror movies last year, but you've got Scream 7. I'd also throw in Evil Dead Burn. We're getting another Evil
Hmm.
Dead movie, which we haven't seen in a while. That's really
Yeah.
exciting. That's a franchise that I both Scream and Evil Dead are two of the most consistent, I think, horror franchises out there.
Yeah.
Ready or Not 2, the original Ready or Not, in my opinion, is a really
Mm.
great horror slash
Yeah.
action film, but
I
mainly
really
horror.
want to see that. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm excited for that one, Ready or Not 2. There's also They Will Kill You, which looks like
Mm.
Ready or Not 2.5, but it
Yeah.
it seems pretty cool. I think that's more on the action side, I think, but I
Mhm.
think it's also about somebody, getting chased around a mansion by rich people that are trying to kill
Right.
her. So that's pretty
Mhm.
cool. Um, I already mentioned Resident Evil by Zach Kreger. I'm really excited for that one. And then
Mhm.
there's this movie called Obsession that I've heard a lot of buzz about
Mhm.
is coming out later this year, which I I I don't think I know enough about it to share what the plot is going to be, but I've heard it's good. That's all I'll say. So that's the last one I'll just throw out there. So there's a lot of potential
Sure.
for horror. Last year was good, but I think this year could even measure up there.
Oh, yeah, those are all fair points, but again, half of those are franchises. Just let honestly, just let the franchise end at some point, you know? I want of course, I like to see Ghostface, the Resident Evil movies, Evil Dead movies. Of course, those are fun to see, and you want to watch more of them. Um, but like at some point, things have to end, and new things have to happen. I just want because what's stopping somebody from coming up with a whole new um, slasher movie, which is why I respected Hard Eyes. I didn't really like the movie too much, but I respected the fact that they tried to make something new, maybe even make it into a franchise if they wanted to. But that's from last year. And I feel like we're not getting a whole lot of that this year. Again, we're getting Scream, was it 87 or something like that? Seven.
Seven.
And whatever else you said, the Resident Evil. I think
Yep.
there's already like four or five of those. So I mean, not that I have a problem with that, but it's just like why, you know? Yeah.
Well, I would just say the thing with the you saying that it's all franchises. The thing is going into 2025 when you look at like upcoming releases, like
Hmm.
it would have said the same thing. You would have only really seen a lot of the franchise stuff because like for the most
Oh,
part
sure. Yeah.
the only movies that get like really like planned out for releases like way in the future are like the big franchises with big budgets because they get all
Hmm.
like the big marketing. So like obviously I can't make an argument for some of the smaller movies that might be coming out this year. Hopefully they'll bring more
Mm.
to the table. I wish I
Yeah.
could make arguments for them, but I will just throw that out there that yeah, I kind of have to bring out a lot of the franchises a little bit just because
Mm.
there's not the most amount of news about, you know, a movie that was made for $50 million, that's
Mm.
releasing in like July or something. But
Right.
I
Yeah.
but you're still making a totally fair point. I'm not like saying your point is like useless or whatever. Like it's a fair point,
Hmm.
but I did just want to put that out there.
Well, I mean, to touch up on the horror aspects, if we're going that talking about that. 28 years later, Bone Temple is coming out. I have very low expectations for
That already
that.
came out.
Oh, it already came out.
Yeah, and apparently it was better than 28
Yeah.
years later, so that's a W for
Uh,
2026 right there.
I doubt it. I forget his name. Is it Les Cronin or Lee Cronin, something like that? He's remaking the Mummy.
Oh, I saw that. I'm not familiar with the Mummy, so.
I like the Mummy franchise a lot. Again, I have to say why. Um, Scary Movie 6, sure, it's
Oh,
gonna
I
be
forgot about
fun.
Scary Movie 6. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but
Um,
keep in mind, yes, you're gonna say why, but
yeah.
it's being made by the Wayans brothers,
No,
who
yeah,
who made the
of
first
course.
two, which are easily the best in the entire franchise. So,
Yeah.
if any of the sequels past two have the best
Hmm.
shot to be almost as good, or maybe even better, maybe better. I'm doubtful of
Hmm.
that. I'll even say that. But maybe almost as
Hmm.
good as the first one. Number six, looking pretty good right now.
I mean, yeah, but to circle way, way back, you know, just originality. These are all a lot of these movies are, sequels, repeats, adaptions. Like you said before, Project Hail Mary, which actually I didn't really know is adaptation from a book. Scary Movie 6 franchise, The Odyssey. I forget about The Odyssey. That's a bad example. But all these big name. if you I just think if you compare all these big name movies, no matter what genre they are, to the ones coming out this year to the ones last year, I think there's more originality from the ones last year as opposed to this year. Like there's more just um, uh, excess of existing either franchises or adaptions from what I'm seeing.
Okay, well, to just argue about that, how did those
Mm.
original movies go last year? Do you want to share your thoughts again on Sinners, which I thought
Uh,
was quite good, but I'm just gonna rattle through a couple here. What were your thoughts
sure.
on Sinners? What about
Well, I
One Battle
mean,
After Another? That's a that
sure.
well, technically I think that is an adaptation, at least slightly, of
Mhm.
something else. But what'd you think of that movie? You know, you got
Well,
that
I
one.
mean,
That's an original
sure.
idea. How did that go? Or you didn't see it, but there was this movie Him that came out last year that was produced by Jordan Peele. That one
Hmm.
got quite a lot of not praise. Um,
Sure.
so there's probably what else was original? Did you see Weapons? You didn't see Weapons, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, Weapons
Mm.
was all right, but I don't know how you feel about that one. But so
Well, sure.
some of the original movies you saw, you're asking so much for original movies, but a couple of the biggest ones that you saw last year, you weren't exactly the biggest fan of. So
Hmm.
maybe you secretly want the adaptations. Maybe you secretly want Scream 7. Maybe you
Mm.
secretly want Scary Movie 10 to come out in 2028.
No, but I mean, to counteract about that, I mean, sure, original ideas may end up being bad, but at least you tried and did it, as opposed to just knowing that you're going to have, well, probably, and also knowing that you're going to have success making something that already exists. I respect the movie more, and sometimes you like a movie more that's more original as opposed to, Spider-Man 87. Even though Spider-Man is my favorite character, comic superhero of all time, I understand the fact that, like, okay, same story, same villains, he swings, super cool. I love it, but like there comes a point where you need to make like a I don't know, like a Tree Man movie or something like that. So give me something new and all that stuff. So Sinners, even though I didn't hate on it, but like I didn't love it like most people. But the fact that it was so something new and original made it better than I think it makes it better than the majority of what's coming out as far as blockbusters this year. Even one battle after another. I mean, and a majority of everybody knows I hate that movie, but I have to give it respect because it is an original idea. You know, like K-pop Demon Hunters. That's an original idea. I love that movie, but it didn't set out to be a blockbuster movie, but it was made into one because of the originality of it, and people ended up liking it so much. I mean, obviously, a lot of the stuff is based on preference. Of course, these uh, remakes and additives of the ones today are going to get praise because they have existing praise, is what I'm saying.
All right. Fair enough. Good points. Good points. I gotcha. Do you have any other points to make to back up your case?
Um, Not entirely. I mean, you mentioned Dune Part 3. Why? Um,
I mean, they do have to finish the book. That's why
oh,
they
it's a
haven't finished
book.
the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
Dune's a book. Yeah.
mm. Toy Story 5. We already said that. Um, I mean, yeah, I don't really think I have too much else to talk about, to be honest. Just, I don't know. I think, do I think it's gonna be the worst year ever for movies? No. But if we were to compare between last year and this year, I think last year tops it personally. Um, yeah.
Well, I guess time will have to tell. We'll have to wait
Time
and
will
see.
tell.
It seems like
Yeah,
I have not convinced you, and I would say you haven't convinced me quite yet.
yeah,
But
okay.
well, the movies will do the convincing. I think one
They
way or
will.
another, we'll see.
Mm,
But I'm feeling good for 2026. I'm hoping for a step up from last year, and yeah, should be an exciting year. So, with that said, I suppose that this is the end of our first ever episode of One Take.
yes. Thank you all for tuning into the very first episode of One Take. This is part of our history and maybe your history. We'll see.
This day
Hopefully you
might be
guys
remembered
liked it.
forever.
Yeah, I mean, I'll remember it. Hopefully you guys liked what we were talking about. If even you guys have ideas for debate topics, drop them in the comments and we'll take a look at those.
For sure.
Um, and yeah, I definitely enjoyed this conversation, even though it didn't necessarily amount to any kind of mutual agreement. But
No, there was
well,
I think there was certainly some
yeah,
mutual agreement about where we want movies to go, with like the
well,
sequels and
yeah,
the reboots and things like that. There certainly
sure,
was. There was ground gained towards
hmm
peace. Step by step, we're solving world peace.
yeah,
So,
yes, we are through every movie.
yes,
Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, just thinking about this, we could at the end of the year, we could probably touch up upon this very first video and see
oh, that could be cool. Yeah,
how everything ended up
look
from
back.
what we said beforehand. So,
Yeah, yeah, that'd actually be really cool.
mm,
Um, I at the end of the year too, we could even do like maybe we could do like a debate based on like how the movies came out, like, and I
mm,
guess that could incorporate like this video where we talk about like
right,
how wrong I was or how wrong you were or whatever.
right,
But then we could also like debate about, oh well, how did the year go? Was it like
hmm
terrible? Was it okay? Was it great? Whatever. I
mm.
don't know. That's something we'll have to see. We've got a long way to go before then, and hopefully many more debates to do. So
Oh
thank
yeah,
you for debating with me, and I'll also again thank the viewers. Thank you guys. Leave a
mm,
like if you like this idea for us to keep going with this, and share your thoughts about this discussion. And as John said, bring forth whatever takes you guys have. Maybe you guys can bring something forward for us to discuss. So with that said, thank you guys for watching, and look forward to possibly some other new stuff coming to the channel very soon.
yes,
See you guys
definitely.
later.